If you're broke, why don't you stop acting rich? Live below your means. That might have something to do with it. Let's talk. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of LanceScurv, the LanceScurv podcast. This is something that's universal. It's not just for black people, but it's especially for black people. If you're broke, you need to stop acting rich. Too many of us wear our wealth on our sleeve, but it's not really wealth. But we want people to think, for some reason, the reason I feel is insecurity, that we have more than what we actually have. Because in the black community, this is going to be not easy to hear. There's a lot of false bravado and low self-esteem. And in the age of social media, it's even worse. Because you can act rich online and appear to be something that you're not. And many of us, unfortunately, will rather look like the real thing as far as riches are concerned, or wealth, than actually taking our time, working hard, and sacrificing and becoming the real thing. You ever wonder why, when many of us pass away after living a life that appeared to be under control, that many of our family members have to pass around a cup? Not really a cup, but they'll do a GoFundMe, or they'll put the word out that we need help to bury our family member that drove that brand new luxury car, that lived in that big house. And you mean to tell me they got to the point when they're out of here and they needed help with that? So what was life all about for them? See, a lot of us, like I said, we have low self-esteem, and we feel as though everybody else is doing better than us. So we have to keep up with the Joneses in a fraudulent way. So instead of, again, like I say, live below your means. That's the bottom line. And I'm going to go over some points and some notes that I jotted down in this hot African sun, or it's not the sun is done with, right? The weather is hot out here, y'all. It's hot. So I not only have my face rag, I got a whole daggone towel to wipe my head, right? I was thinking about the sun earlier. But first things first, I have a list here. I'm going to read it off for you. Cut out the fast food culture. Fast food not only doesn't nourish you, it brings on health issues down the line, but it makes you broke. And these days it's expensive. Stop treating yourself with $15 plates 4 times a week. And I know some people who are worse than that. You're eating your wealth away. See, I knew a long time ago that unless you hit the lottery, and I know many people for many years have been playing the lottery because they just know they're going to hit. And they stay in it because they almost hit. They'll tell you, if I had just that one more number right, I would have got it. But you are your own lottery. You can live below your means, treat yourself every now and then, but really put a plan down on paper and cut out the things that are not going to bring you to that good place. I've known people that have come up from nothing and didn't make much, but they made it now, and they are so secure, and they're living a wonderful life. And guess what? They still practice those principles that got them there. But something as simple as fast food, and I said $15 plates 4 times a week. It could be $10 3 times a week, whatever. But you don't need to be eating the stuff that's killing off your health. And it's a slow drip out of your pockets. And after that, then what? What do you have to show for it? Next one is ditch the name brand addiction. No one cares about the logo on your shirt if you're broke inside. Rock clean thrift fits and invest the difference. And you know the funniest thing? I know people who would brag about their name brand stuff. Oh yes, back in the 80s and back in the 90s, you know, when I was really into dressing, I only dressed in, I don't even know these guys' names because I never get down like that, right? But they would name off the name brands and how much they spent on it, on luxury designer clothing. Come to find out that most of this stuff is made in China and the logo is slapped on the side. And here you are bragging about something that came from China. Cheap! How do you feel? Don't you feel stupid? I'm not going to say I knew this, but I'm glad I never played the game. The handbags and the clothing, and like I've said on other shows, I found out in my research, I stumbled on it and I checked up on it, and it's true. So many black folks are, yes, this is the finest Italian leather. I have the finest Italian leather. It's leather from Nigeria. But they know if you say or associate this leather with a black country, a lot of white folks are not going to trust it, and black folks are damn sure not going to buy it. But you bought it. They took that Nigerian leather, right? Slapped the logo on it and said it's from Italy. And now you feel better because it's something that's not made by a black man or a black person, and it's the finest. Don't you know how much stuff is being robbed, stolen from Africa and repackaged? And only because you think it came from somewhere else where the people don't look like you want to brag about it and put your nose up. Look, we got so much chocolate, cocoa out here in Ghana. A big percentage of cocoa that's in the market and made into candy bars and different things comes from Ghana. I don't know the proportion, the percentage, I'm sorry. I'm messing up all my words tonight. But yeah, so now they get this cocoa, they ship it to England, and they do what they do to it to add the flavor, the sugar, to this, to that, but it's Ghanaian cocoa. And they put it in a fancy packaging, gold leafed and fancy letters and all of this and all of that, and ship it out to the world, and you buy it. Oh, this is the finest chocolate from European chocolate. It's from Africa, y'all. Come on. But we're so fooled into this name brand stuff, the addiction. And it hit me not too long ago when we say name brand. We're so hollow and empty that think about when we were enslaved and we were branded, and we were branded by the slave masters with the slave master's name. And certain ones who were enslaved, when they got around others from other plantations, if that one was from a bigger, more affluent plantation, I'm from Master Johnson's plantation, as though it makes you better because you're branded with the slave master's name on your arm, on your leg, on your butt, your backside, whatever. And it's no different now. Yes, I only wear name brand. Still a slave. And we're fooled and spend so much more than what you needed to spend because you wanted to have a better brand. That's a better brand. That's a better way of being a slave and spending your money and wasting it to keep you broke so you can have a better brand name on your arm or on your hip or whatever jeans you were wearing. Jeans are jeans, clothes are clothes. It's about what you're gaining, saving, manifesting. And time flies. It's a hell of a thing to be old and broke. And you have no income coming in, and then it hits you in the face what you could have done, and all of that stuff did not matter. Did not matter. No more weekend turn-ups every week, meaning turn up, not turnips, right? That $80 to $150 you blow on drinks, Uber, and food every Friday, that's wealth evaporating. Stay home, buy stocks instead. Even if you get Netflix, which you can get rid of too, but even if you did that and had friends come over and cooked your own stuff, I'm not saying you can't have a social life, but going out, what is that all about? You know, I always said this before, the times when money was unexpectedly lean for me, I remember every couch cushion, every piece of furniture that coins rolled under. If I took off my pants and it fell, I was like, I'm not getting that. Even the ashtray in my vehicle, which I don't smoke, but there'll be change in there, and I'd remember it. You remember every wasted coin when you're broke, and you realize how foolish that is, because now it's valuable to you, and you're counting up pennies in silence away from everybody. Come on now, you know you've done that. Counting up pennies or a handful of cash, just, I didn't have any money. I thought I had more. And this unexpected thing came out of the bank, and I was low. And at least I had this to eat for the rest of the week. And it humbles you. Why do you want to put yourself in that position? Live below your means. Live below your means. Use cash, not credit. If you can't pay for it in full, you can't afford it, period. Credit cards aren't free money. They're a financial devil's contract. The interest rate, and you paying off a little bit at a time, and they're piling more on it. But you just had to have that gadget. You just had to have that thing that pretty much depreciates, but you're still paying for it for a long time. That's like you have a bucket, like a joint compound bucket, and you're trying to fill it up with water and bring it around to your backyard, but you don't realize there's a hole in it, in the bottom of it. So you fill it up and you're walking, and the water's coming out of that bucket. And by the time you get to your destination to water that plant or do whatever with that bucket of water, the water's gone. And that affects everything you have. You just think, oh, it's just that credit card, but it's coming from the overall sum total of money that you earn. Self-sabotage. If you can't afford it or buy it with cash, you can't afford it. You can't afford it. You can't afford it if you can't buy it with cash. But in modern society, we got this thing called credit, and it messes us up every time. Cancel unused subscriptions. Netflix, Hulu, the gym if you don't hardly go. 3 music apps that you don't use or more. But no savings? Cut the silent killers robbing your accounts monthly. There are things that you say or you see when you look at your bank statement. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm not watching that. But it might be something for $9, $6, $2, and you forget. And months go by and they're steady pulling out. And if you have a debit, situation going on, and something has to come out unexpectedly, or something that you think you have enough money for, and you go ahead and pay for it, but as the process is going through that thing for $4, and you probably have just the amount enough to do this big unexpected transaction, but that little thing for $4 jumps in the way. And when they try to pull that money out, it goes over into overdraft, right? And you're like, I forgot about it. I was supposed to get rid of it a while ago. But it reared its ugly head. There's some things that I have to go back and check, because there's some things that I get different programs and different things I use in making the shows and graphics and stuff. And they come out every year. And I forget. And I'm mad sometimes. And I might have a good amount in there, right? And all of a sudden, $255 coming out yearly for, and I'm like, I used that thing just a few times. And I forgot about it. We got to be on it because we have hands in our pockets that we don't realize are there from past commitments. And you know what I hate? A lot of these things that you can get, for the most part, it's easy to cancel. But lots of times, it's hard to cancel. Some company from China, and you call and you can't get anybody, or you email and you can't get anybody. Sometimes you have to go change the whole account, right? They'll come looking for you then because you can't take it then. But every penny that you make is precious. And everything you let go to waste is taking you away from financial security and eventual riches and then wealth. Because anybody can get rich real quick. But wealth, that's a whole different story, right? Live with roommates, even as a grown adult. But no, we can't do that. I'm not saying you're on top of your bills and you're saving money and, oh, Lance said, go, live with roommates. But if you're single and you're on a mission, say you move to a different city and nobody really knows you, I'm not paying for a whole big apartment to be at work all day and it's not being utilized. And all I do is go home and sleep. I may live with roommates or find a situation, because you can't live with everybody. That's a different story. That's just a suggestion, because everybody's situation is different. But you got to do what you got to do. Say, for example, you have this dream of, home ownership, or there's a job somewhere in a different city, and, you get with people that and you say, hey, why don't we all do this together? And get an apartment. And each of you have a room. The worst is with strangers, because you don't know. You got food, you're sharing a kitchen, you got your food in there, you don't want nobody putting something in your food. People are crazy. I understand that. But consider that. Most people do not consider that. And when it's a dire situation, they end up sometimes on the street. Sometimes they can't afford just to be a roommate. But at least there are other options. We got to put our pride aside. Because many times in my life, I have put my pride aside with jobs, with things that I had to do to cut back, the budget, rationing food, doing everything. Because I'm going to get to where I have to get to. Even when situations knock you down. Lots of us, we will go binge or try to comfort ourselves with spending money and sinking ourselves down into a hole. No, I want to know I'm on top of things and I'm ahead of the game. Cook in bulk, eat leftovers. A lot of folks ain't gonna do that. It's not poverty, it's strategy. Stretch meals, save cash. You go to a restaurant and you get a chicken sandwich or a chicken meal, a chicken deluxe with the fries and this and that. How much chicken are you getting? When you can go into the supermarket or the market or where they can slaughter a live chicken and cook it up in bulk, ration it out, and stretch it. Boy, that money goes a long way. We waste a lot of money on food and not cooking in bulk. And when it comes time for the leftovers, we treat it like it's trash. Now, if it's been sitting there for 2 weeks, yeah. But even plan on eating, and curb your appetite. I'm not saying don't eat. Eat healthy, curb your appetite, eat the leftovers and cook it yourself, but you gotta buy in bulk. You save a whole lot. Even when you can get together with other people, if you have the storage space, right? If you have a bigger fridge, freezer, whatever, why are you buying a little bit of food, cooking it up and wasting it? Buy in bulk if you know you're gonna, look, when it comes time to go to the bathroom, do you say, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Let me run to the store and get some toilet paper. You know you're going to have to go to the bathroom every day, hopefully you're not constipated, but you know you have to go buy in bulk and buy enough toilet paper for the month. Get down and have a bunch of buy a lot of toilet paper and save on it. That's a great thing to do. Folks used to do that before, but they don't do that anymore. They get together and step to a supermarket or a market or vendor and say, hey, we all in this whole neighborhood want to buy so-and-so. What's the price you can give us? Right? It's not a supermarket now, because the supermarket is going to make its profit because you want to buy just a little bit. Think long term. You have to. Buy a used car in cash. Oh no, but we have to have the new vehicle. Stop letting car notes choke your goals. Your car is not a status trophy. It's a tool to get from point A to point B. But just like these commercials, when they market vehicles to certain people, certain slices of the population, what was it? The Chrysler 300? And they marketed this thing heavily to black men. And I remember reading an article on this. I think it was Essence or Ebony or one of the black magazines, right? And it was an online article, but it was, their website. And they basically said, and I saw it, they showed the ads of the black man in front of this luxury apartment with this beautiful woman who had this beautiful hourglass shape, and she was so done up, and he was holding the door for her, and she got in, and it was this fantasy. He was suited down, and she gave him a kiss, and yeah, well, who doesn't want to live a nice life and enjoy, and you're a man, you want to feel like a man, but they cater to that. And that's the problem with us as black men. Not that we want to feel like a man, we are men, but the trappings of what they put out there to be a man, like you really have to have this. And a lot of these women out here, the modern women, you have to have all of this in place. I'm not going to sit there and ride an Uber with you, So when you do get that car in cash, it may not be what you want exactly, but it's going to get the job done. Living in New York, in a certain age range, 20s, 30s, whatever, before I moved down, I always lucked out and had more than one vehicle. There's one time I had like 4. It just dropped in my lap. Hey, Lance, I'm selling this for $700. All right, I'll take it off your hands. Or the time I got the pickup truck for $100. You know what I mean? I just had to go all the way to it was something from the 70s, but I was doing construction in my house, and it suited me. It was so inexpensive. It was rusted a little bit. It was an old Ford 1970 something, whatever, and it didn't even have a key. The ignition, the part around the key, just turn it. I used it. It got me to demolish and beat out the guts of the house before I remodeled it. Brought everything to the dump. People used it. My friends used it. Hey, Lance, let me hold the truck, man. Go ahead, take it. You know what I mean? I didn't have that thing even for a year, but it served its purpose. I'm not saying you want to drive around in that like that, but that was a straight get over. I did not have to go to the dealership and buy a brand new pickup truck to do that. And the status thing, we all know about how the price of the vehicle depreciates when you drive it off the lot. And really and truly, it's a big fantasy for a lot of people. I mean, it's rough now. People are not driving their vehicles. Sometimes things go wrong with it. They don't have the money for it. They can't maintain the insurance or the gas money when it goes up. Go lean. If you have it, get something that you can handle to get you out of the elements where it's not going to rain on you. You can get your groceries. You can go to where you have to go. You can go to work and you can come home and you're good. And you're good. That's the way it rolls. So I got no shame, because when I'm home and counting the money I saved, that's the best feeling in the world. And it doesn't mean when you see a person who has something nice that they're living above their means, because maybe they're not. Maybe they are living below their means, but they have more than you. I have no problem with that. That's none of my business. My ego or my identity or my feeling about myself is not going to change because somebody else has something more. We all have our path in life to live. We can't get so caught up in that. That's just what it is. Refuse the hookup mentality. Let me get something straight. If you're from Ghana or Nigeria and they say refuse the hookup mentality, hookup out here means prostitution, like find a girl, I want to date you, I want to hook up. You tell another brother, looking for a hookup tonight. And there are websites for that out here, like local hookups. And you see the girls and whatever. This guy put me on to that. Man, that's what it is. Because that says something about hooking up, I said, you going to give me the hookup on that? And he was selling stuff. He said, hook up, you want to hook up with me? I said, yeah, I want you to hook me up. No, brother, I know you mean something different. So he said, let me tell you what hookup out here means. But hookup, and I say refuse the hookup mentality, is when people say, hey, man, you can hook me up a little 20 to the end of the week. You can hook me up with this, hook me up with that. And you find yourself in great debt, right? Stop borrowing and owing everybody. It leads to drama and not savings at all. A hookup. And I find people that have black businesses, they always get black people who don't want to pay the price you're asking, or they want to hook up on the price or something for free. You're running a business. As a black man, if your price is a little more expensive and I'm okay in my pockets, I'm going to pay it, right? Because going into business is not easy. And especially if you want to support your brother who supports your community. And again, like I said on yesterday's show, make sure they have the mindset to not take that money and go somewhere else. It's a cycle that we have to feed into, you see. And this hookup thing, asking people for stuff when, yeah, maybe they might be able to afford it, but let their business fly. They're not there to just give you. They didn't sacrifice and open up a shop or some type of establishment or business just to sit there. Because let me tell you something. Black folks, not all, but they will become takers on your ass. And when things flop for you, oh, I'm sorry, what happened? You happened, and people like you. You see somebody get a little good fortune to put themselves in a position to have a business and run this business, and you want to weigh it down, trying to get a hookup. You give me a better price than that, brother. You know, we got to look out for each other. No, you trying to use me. You trying to use me. I ain't doing it. Now, if somebody close to me in my inner circle needs something, I got them. So don't think I'm going to be some stingy person, but you just see me and walk up and just want, no, I can't. I don't do that to people. I don't do that to people like that. I understand what goes into the hard work that goes into creating something, especially a business. How dare you? You know what I mean? And then if the shoe was on the other foot and you needed something, things ain't been good. Things are hard. See, people, let me tell you something. When they need something, they'll come with their hand out. And they won't think to pay you back. And if you ever bring it up, they'll catch an attitude. And they might get mad. I ain't paying you back. Well, what kind of sense of entitlement do you have? Just don't need anything from me again, or I might never know it, but you might need again. And when you start to think, oh, I done messed it up with Lance, I can't go to him and ask him anything. You're right, because you ain't going to get it. You ain't going to get it. Black folks, wake up. This is ridiculous. Turn your home into a hustle. Airbnb a room. Rent out space for events. Monetize what you already have. Now that might be a little difficult because you don't want everybody coming inside your house. But the whole Airbnb thing, if you have a good sized home and, you can take that chance. I'm not saying it's a chance, but if you have to do that, you can put down some extra money. I'm not saying this for everybody because everybody's situation is completely different, right? Cut back on kids' wants. Kids don't need a new toy and new clothes every month. They need parents not stressed about money. They don't understand that. Advertising grabs them, peer pressure grabs them, and parents use their children oftentimes as little wealth trophies. What do I mean by that? Well, my children, they're always dressed in the best. And then what? I'm not here to compare races or put people above us. But usually when you see them little Indian kids, they don't wear name brand stuff, even when their parents are making money. And usually they do. In the tech industry, that way, everything. When you see these little Chinese kids, and they're first generation born here or they just got here, their parents are not putting them in any name brand stuff. They're about getting that money. And even when they do come into some wealth from their unity in their collective economic systems, these different races, they're still not foolish. They may have nicer things, but it's all stuff that they still need. They're not going to spend foolishly. But look at us in our neighborhoods, and I said neighborhoods. Sometimes, hopefully I can say community, but we don't really have community, because in the word community is the word unity. And the first syllable is co. Community. Together, co. Like a co-star, right? Co-owner. Unity. No, we don't have unity. We have neighborhoods, and below that it's hoods. It could be nice looking houses, but the mentality of the people, the hate, the envy, the individualism, and I can understand it sometimes too, because you can't blend and rock with everybody. That's just not how it goes. So this romantic or romanticizing of, yes, one day we all will be together, it ain't gonna happen. There's some black folks that when I see them coming, I run. I don't want to see them with their bad energy and their bad mind. I'm good where I am, right? So don't feel bad when you think that way too. You want to reach out, you want to do good, you want to, set an example. But some people, you just can't get along with, right? But don't get your kids into this where they have to have the new this and the best this, because lots of times when I hear parents say that, it's so ignorant. I keep my children in the best, but you're not paying attention to their grades in school. You're not watching your mouth when you're on the phone cussing up a storm, giving them a bad example of character and how you communicate. But they're wearing the best. And they get older, they want to wear the best and have the biggest car and can't afford it. Even when you can afford it, do you want to spend on it? What's that all about? Like I said, low self-esteem. We got to prove to the world that we can get. And we surround ourselves with all these gadgets and cars and just excess. Just excess. There was a guy many years ago, I think it was either the 70s, it wasn't the 80s, it was the 70s. I think he was from New Jersey. And he used to wear this, I forgot what you call it, a derby hat? He was from Jersey. And I think he won $5 million. And all his secrets came out. I mean, he put it out there. He was married, he had his wife, and he had his girlfriend. I remember him taking, I don't know if you all would remember this, if you're kind of in that age group, they took a picture of him with his wife and his girlfriend, and he wasn't a young guy. He wasn't old, but he was old to me because I was so much younger. But I would say maybe he was about 50 or something like that. Maybe 45, 50. And he had a little cigar, and he was just, they had commercials with him and everything. So quick he was broke. So quick he was broke. He put it out there. He bought the wife this mink coat and the girlfriend this mink coat, and he's walking out with them. I don't know about that wife, what kind of wife that was. Maybe they're into the freaky deaky, but it didn't last long. His money was gone. $5 million, if you really think about it. If I gave you, and some people can do it, if I gave you $5 million right now, right? And said you can't earn a penny over that. I'm giving you this. You can either invest or ration it out, do what you have to do with it, but this is it for you. You cannot receive any money, more money. And many people, I'm not going to say most, but many people, they'll be broke before they leave this earth. $5 million if you do right with it, right? See, I'm on topic, but I have a few more points to make. But you give somebody $5 million, what would they do? A lot of folks want to get a house for $1.5 million. Or they want to go to a place where there's a homeowners association where you got to pay all these fees and high taxes. Even if you paid for the house, how much tax is that compounding over the years, right? Like, who thinks smart enough to say, you know what? Not that I'm going to live in the hood, and I don't mean this about black people, I'm saying just a place that's so downtrodden. Okay, you may not want to live there. You might get a home for, depending on where it is, for $100,000. No more than $500,000 if you had $1 million. I'm not trying to look like $1 million or $5 million. I want to wake up and know that this house is paid for. I paid off so many years of the taxes, and I might get a little Toyota Corolla or some kind of pickup truck. Laugh if you want. I'm going to maintain that bad boy. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to be set, and I'm not going to try to get any more. I am not going to spend $1 million out of that $5 million. Probably $650,000, $700,000 tops. And I'm going to think far into the future on the things that I need. And I'm not going to spend on things I don't need just because I have it like that. That's an illusion. Look at folks when they get their tax returns. All of a sudden they're a millionaire. They're pushing out their chest and they're down in the shopping area and they want, you know, these Asians and these folks, they celebrate when tax season comes because they're going to get the money. They're going to put out all the stuff, the little flashy stuff that we like. We're going to run down there and get smart with the store owner. No, I didn't say that. I'm spending my money here. I need better service. You're supposed to be here to serve me. And they'll act subservient. The Asian, the Chinaman, okay, you dumb nigga. I'm going to act subservient because you will soon be broke. You don't know where I live. I live in better area than you, but you don't know that, and you will never come into my neighborhood. So talk on all you want. They'll take it because they know they're going to get that money out your pocket, right? Shop with a list and stick to it. Impulse buying is the enemy. Go in with a mission. When you go into a place, just a supermarket, right? And you don't have a list, you end up buying so much more most of the time when you have the time. Because now they have a big cardboard image of somebody, some celebrity sitting there's a bunch of products and you didn't anticipate that, now you want to get that. You know, don't shop when you're hungry. You're going to buy so much more than what you need. You're going to get home, why did I buy all that stuff? I spent all this money over everything. It has to be that way. Also, don't eat too much before you go food shopping because you're going to hardly buy anything. You're full. You're not hungry. Not that you have to be hungry, but you're so full, you're like, I didn't buy enough. It works both ways, the state of mind that you're in. It's a funny thing. Cut your own hair. Learn to do nails. Skill up. Save hundreds a year. Still look good. What was it, back in 1998 or 1999? Old Scurv got smart. I was going to the barbershop one good time a week, but I would pop in another time in the middle of the week or sometimes twice if I had something going on because the hair grows out a little bit and I like my stuff looking freshly cut. Then I realized, wait a second. I'm spending all of this money just for that. The hair is going to grow. But I'm spending a lot over the course of a year. So I was like, I got some clippers, started keeping my hair off my head. Now I keep it so short, I just use a razor blade every day. Shave my face, shave my head. You know how much money I saved? Not only that, but how much time I save when I get up and when I was working and get out the house. Because I would always keep my head. I used to hate to feel the hair growing back, so I would. Sometimes if I'm outside, I'm like, oh man, it's growing. I keep a razor with me and dry shave. That's a hang up for me. I don't like hair. This little mustache here, and I trim it down. It's the only hair I have in my eyebrows. That's it. Too much information, but it saves me a lot of money, right? And that was one of the best things that I could have done, because hairstyles change, and I want to have a consistent look all the time as I get older. I like that. I don't think I can grow hair back. I wouldn't like it. I would be looking at, I don't care about gray, because I know it's a lot of gray mixed in. When it starts to grow, you can see it. I'm not hung up on that. I'm not one of those, if I had hair, one of those older guys would be with this jet black, ink black dye, making myself look foolish. No, I embrace my aging, I embrace my older years, and I have no problem with that, because I've lived a wonderful life that taught me a whole lot, right? But yeah, cut your own hair, save your own money. Avoid emotional spending. Retail therapy is like pouring water in a sinking boat. Deal with pain constructively and cheaply. A lot of us look to do that, just like women who break up sometimes. I'm not saying all women. They get the new attitude. They cut their hair, they dye it, or they change it drastically. Men and women will go and the emotional spending, the retail therapy. It makes them feel good from something that's bothering them. But the thing that's bothering you didn't go away. So what are you going to do? Because you're going to want to spend like that again. It's just like the scrolling. We're escaping into a different world, and we're escaping from issues that we have to face. You need to put the phone down and face those things. The same thing with the emotional spending. Some people can't help themselves. Running up credit card debt, spending money that they need for the real bills, squeezing it out. Well, I guess I'll pay that next week. Can you hook me up with a loan so I can pay my bills? No. If you know them like that and you know they're foolish, no. You got to eat that. Because I'm going to save. There are things that I need, and I'm going to save for it. There's things that we still need to do in this house, in the construction of it. But as the money comes, you use it. Instead of putting yourself in all this debt or messing yourself up with the bills and falling behind. Is that a good feeling? But my kids, we're the best, and I got the best European chocolate. Come on. We get duped in the commercials and the advertising. It's overloading our brain. We're so aware of what's out there to buy, and it makes us feel like less. A lot of us already feel like less with low self-esteem. But with all the advertising and portrayal of everybody living this happy life with all the material items, it's messing us up even more. A study was made, and I mentioned this before in an older show, how in the 1960s, because of radio and television, we had but so many ads bombarding our brain. Because we didn't always have the radio on, and we weren't always sitting in front of television, right? But when the computer came around, it was more, right? Because we didn't always have smartphones that would connect to the internet. And I said this before. Remember the days when you were at work or you were outside and you wanted to check your emails? It wasn't as easy as picking up the phone. You would say, I got to get home and check my email. Because going on the computer was the only way you can check it. Now you can check it right on the spot, right? So in this modern day with the phones and everything that popping up, and now we have AI, and now we have the ads that pop up on it. You go to a website for the first time, you've never been there before, and things that you are interested in start popping up because they retain this information. It follows you around, whatever you're interested in. Go on Instagram and go find a woman shaking her backside, right? And look at it. Shut the Instagram off, leave it. Go back to Instagram and scroll, and now you have 10, 15 big booty women shaking because they've made a note of that. And if you like that, you go see that, whatever it may be. If you like fishing, you're going to see more fishing stuff. If like me, I like boxing and I like bodybuilding. So I'm going to see all of this stuff suggested to me. So much is bombarding your brain. And those of us who damn near have affairs on our spouses with our phones. Your spouse is on this side, you hugging up the phone. You wake up. First thing you do, where's my phone? You scrolling, bombarding your brain. Didn't even go out and get sunlight on your body. Didn't even wash your backside right. But you got the phone in your hand. Phones are nasty, y'all. Be careful when you use people's phone. They go in the bathroom, touch themselves over, you know what I mean? You feel sick sometime, and maybe because you use somebody else's phone. And people nasty, trust me. Wow. I think there's one more I want to say. Stop chasing image and start building assets. Stop chasing image and start building assets. Broke with swag is still broke. I mean, there's something about a person who is not about having money. Like, oh, he has money. No. But when you're sensible with money, you control your urges with money, and you control money, and you don't let money control you. And you're good. Your bills are paid. You're accumulating. You may not have the best name brand stuff on the brand. This is what we look for. He ain't rich. He ain't got no watch. He ain't got no jewelry on. Look at them shoes he got. You know what I wear the majority of the time? Me here, and I'm glad they're nice and dirty because I was walking out in the yard. Look, a dirty behind Croc. Look at that. I got a bunch of them, right? Rinse them off, whatever. I'm in the mountains. There's a dirt road out here before I get to the paved road. You think I'm going to get designer shoes and walk around that way to impress somebody when I go down into the town? No. Here it is right here. I'm showing you. And it's still got dirt on it. I don't care. I don't care. Because it's more important for me to have a beautiful dwelling that I live in. Right? I'm going to invest in that more than... If I have to dress or go somewhere, a function or something, I'm going to represent myself properly. But I'm still not going to overdo it. And people don't understand. My clothes, my shoes, my this, that's not me. That's not my identity. It's what flows through me. It's my integrity. It's my feeling of self-worth. It's my feeling of value. And people who really have their lives together and can control their money and stop trying to be rich or look rich while being broke, it's a different vibe they have. When you talk with them, you're like, this person really got their head together. I judged them the wrong way. You shouldn't be judging people anyway. You go to some of these functions, whether it's here in Ghana or in America, and folks come there decked out and they're looking around to see who's looking at them. If they see somebody with the same shoes or the same dress or the same, you have the same dress. What is this splash that you want to have? Who are you impressing? The older I get, the more I don't even want to, and I was never that way anyway. I always kept myself nice, always dressed well, but I wasn't trying to show out on somebody like this made me better. Because like I say, I'm a creative. I like creative things. I like to figure things out and create things and come up with good ideas, cut corners, and that's the way I am. I'm a hands-on person. And just like I told Mr. Scurv, if I transition first, throw me in the ground. I don't need no big casket, big expensive whatever, and this big ceremony, whatever. Most of the people wouldn't be able to come anyway because I'm here in Ghana. The folks in America, just let them know I'm showing you my love now. We're enjoying each other's energy now. But when I'm out of my body, what is all of this, spending all this money for? No, don't do it. Don't do it. I'll probably get some plywood and make my own casket and say, hey, let it disintegrate. You ain't got to embalm me, nothing. I don't even want to spend money with that. Weddings and funerals and all of this stuff. I mean, you can get sick And that takes away lots of your money. And that scares me. You're buying all these clothes and this big car, and you don't have any money to bury yourself. You get sick and you don't have no money to take care of yourself. Medical bills will wipe you out. And they're still there. Things can happen. And while you're eating all this junk food, well, you might be bringing it faster than what you thought. 5 hidden financial traps in the black community and better alternatives. Predatory buy here, pay here car lots. It's a trap. Weekly payments, no credit check, sky high interest. What's the alternative? Save for a used car and buy with cash. Borrow from a credit union if you must. Better interest rates. The next one, payday loans and cash advances. It's a trap. It's quick cash, massive fees, endless cycle. Alternative, emergency fund, side hustle income, community-based lending circles. How about folks from the Caribbean, susus, or partners, right? You get 20 people, 25 people, they all throw $100 or $500 or whatever, and the person that need the most gets the first draw, but they still have to put back the money that they got. But you can avoid banks and interest rates, but some people want to turn and get to be a crook and leave town and never come back. So you better know who you're doing this with and trust them, right? Next one, rent to own furniture and electronics. Rent to own. Imagine that. If I don't have furniture and I'm going to rent to own and pay all of this money for even this second-rate furniture, give me a used mattress, I'll throw it on the ground. That will be my couch. That will be my bed. I don't need it. I'm not going to do it. What's the trap? Paying 3 times the cost over time. Alternative, save, buy used, or wait for a sale. Delayed gratification. Live below your means and deal with delayed gratification. Next, high interest credit builder cards. Trap, rebuilding credit but getting hit with ridiculous fees. Alternative, secured credit cards from credit unions with low or no fees. But we want to get our hands on cash because we want to get all this flashy stuff. What's really important? What's really important? Next and last one, keeping up with the Joneses spending. Trap, competing lifestyles equal competing debts. Alternative, compete with your future self. Invest and build peace, not appearances. Keeping up with the Joneses, I am not envious of somebody else's debt. I am not envious of somebody else's overhead. I'm not envious of any of those things. Again, why do we have to wear fake wealth on our sleeve? Why? It makes no sense. And then we look at people who truly have earned their wealth, and we all know people who we know didn't have it, and they took years to build it, live below their means, delayed gratification, and now they're at a certain point and it's still not flashy. They're still not trying to prove that they have more than you. When deep down, late in the middle of the night, they can't sleep because they don't know how they're going to pay their bills. The basics, don't waste it. Don't waste food. Don't spend on high-priced items to impress people. Don't get caught up in these predatory loans. Why? Live modest. And the thing for me right now, I've never been that kind of person. And at this age, really, I'm never, ever going to be that person. But if you're trying to figure out what I have in my pocket, you'll never know. I'm not here to tell anybody what I have or what I don't have. I'm in the process of building a home, and even then, I do want to go out at this particular age group. I don't care about the car. I just love a nice home. I grew up in a nice home. It was a lot smaller, but to me, you can call me a bum on the street or turn your nose up at me because I don't have a car, and right now I don't even want a car. If I do get one, it's going to be the last car that I probably own in my life because I'm going to take care of it. I'm not looking to get it and switch up this year and 2 years and switch up. What is all of that, right? I don't want to buy it new, but if I do buy it new, it's a long-term investment. It depreciates as soon as you drive it off the lot. But if I'm going to keep this thing for 25 years, and remember, I'm 62 years old, so if I keep it for 25 years, it's going to be 87, I'll be 87, right? And maybe I'll try to keep it for 30 years. But we've kept cars that long. When I was younger, I switched up a whole lot, right? But I think long-term now, and that settles me. So when people are looking to bedazzle you by their debt, just understand and think to yourself, no, you can't get me envious of the debt that you have. And I'm not an envious person anyway, which pisses people off. Nice car, beautiful. Oh, it's brand new? Really? Wow, it's so nice. But at the end of the month, or the beginning of the month, I'm not paying for it. I go out here and ride one of these vans and I'm okay. Convenience-wise, and as I get older, yes, emergencies happen really quick. And out here, you're not getting the ambulance that quick, all right? I'm way up in the mountains, right? So I need to be able to have my own transportation. So I will get something, but right now, there are other things more important to me. What's really important to you? For you to understand what's important to you financially or in life, you need to know yourself. If you're a follower and a person who's impressionable, oh yeah, that is a nice dress. I want to get a nice dress like that. Oh man, that's some nice jewelry you got. Where'd you get your jewelry from? I need something like that. You need? You don't see any, I don't want it. I don't want it. I would feel stupid wearing it. I really would. People looking at me, no. And then they want to snatch it off your neck, or they want to get something bigger than you, or a bigger piece of you, and all these rings and all. What is all of that? I like to be natural. I want to be me. I want when you see me, you're like, wow, there's Lance. Let's talk to him. Because maybe my conversation game might be on point. But some fool sitting up with jewelry can't string two sentences together. Can't make any sense. They're not authentic. They're just a prop to advertise the debt or the foolish spending that they did. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. If you call me weird, it's okay. If you indulge in these little bit of this stuff, it's okay. I'm not putting you down. I'm not saying something's wrong with you if this is the case. Just with me, I'm at a certain point in life right now. I've seen so much and so much changes and lessons and valuable things that I have here in my head. I want to cut through this life, the remaining part of my life, like a hot knife through butter. I have no time to waste a penny going sideways, competing with somebody else. No, I just can't. That's just me. That's just me. And there are times in the past that I've done things. I was in my 20s and 30s, kind of early 30s. After that, didn't like that. I had little pieces of jewelry and different things. I had some what people would say are nice things, but to me, they're things. It doesn't make who you are. I'd rather you be interested in the deepest conversation with me, and we speak deep, life-changing type stuff. I share my lessons with you, you share your lessons with me, and we come out of the conversation in the union of our minds even better. Better perspective. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, that's what happened? That's a lesson. So you don't always have to go through things yourself to learn a lesson in life. If you're observant, if you can communicate well with people on an exchange level, some people miss lessons because they can't shut up. You're trying to talk and say something to them, and they're cutting you off, and they're just talking over you, and they're in their own world. Say, man. And you wonder why some people just never learn anything. Shut up and listen. Observe. I've learned a lot from observing. That's why I love human nature, and I love people watching, right? But I'm going to wrap this down. We'll be back tomorrow. And I have so much on my mind that I want to share. It may not be the most exciting stuff, sensationalistic stuff that you can see on YouTube. You see the thumbnail, oh man, I want to see that. But consistently, dealing with life issues. And again, the study, not the official study where I went to school for this, but just vibing on the things that we see when you are observant and you have a discerning spirit, because that's something I do have, more or less. If I'm pissed off and I'm angry, I can't discern much. When I'm at peace like I am now and still like that, life is better than Netflix. It's better than a movie, because you're watching, you're seeing it. You can see so much deeper than the mask that people have on them, right? Don't let me start again. I'll come with something interesting tomorrow, but I'm just glad that you rode with me this far. Just know that I love you all, and life is a journey, and sometimes you're down, but you always get up. The pendulum always swings both ways, and just keep on swinging. If you're going through something, know that, just like the sun, you don't see it behind the clouds, but eventually the sun will shine. And when it comes out, it has rays just for you. The rays that it held that the clouds blocked, you're eventually going to enjoy those rays on you. So good times are coming, the best times are coming, and that's what keeps me striving and pushing and looking forward to every single day, because every single day is a blessing, and I am happy in each one of those days. Even if I don't feel as good, there's still a happiness and a joy in knowing that I'm still in the game of life, and my best version is yet to come. Much love to you all. Salute to my brothers. Mwah. Much love to my sisters. LanceScurv out. Let's keep it going. Leave some comments for me. Let me know what you think about the things that I said. Peace.
You